Forging links.
Forging links.
Forging links, one person at a time.
Hello everyone, I am your Mars Scholar, and welcome to Mars Academy. In each episode, we shall introduce a new concept so that everyone can understand blockchain easily. Today, we will be looking at a project aiming to disrupt the traditional financial markets, Molecular Future. Molecular Future is a one-stop digital asset investment services platform founded in 2017 by the Molecular Group in Hong Kong. The project was invested in by numerous venture capitals and listed companies such as China Fortune, Eagle Fund, HBCC Investment, XBT ING Foundation, Hcash Foundation, and Collinstar Capital. As an early project that successfully transitioned from traditional finance to digital finance utilizing blockchain technology, MOF firmly believes that traditional financial markets that rely on centralized trading and management is destined to be eliminated by decentralization. People need a more just, fair, efficient, and transparent blockchain financial infrastructure to meet their financial service needs, and they seek to provide this with a comprehensive financial public chain that offers a wide variety of services. Some of these services include a one-click diversified investment strategy for digital assets, institutional professional analysis software, which provides a wide variety of trading functions, as well as a unique initiative called Molecular Fission, which rewards members who stake their MOF tokens with daily rewards. With a recent upgrade of the public chain into the Mega operating system, the network has been optimized on the technical level with easy subdomain establishment, cross-chain communications, tribe elections, consensus maintenance, and stronger network security. At the moment, MOF is listed on a number of notable exchanges such as OKEX, Bitrex Global, and BitHub. Users can access the financial services that MOF offers through their mobile app, which is listed on both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. As MOF continues to provide high-quality financial services to users worldwide, we believe that it will continue to make big waves on the global financial markets in 2021 and beyond.
I missed the first 10 minutes. Welcome, Jamie. I'm going to add the video at the beginning, but then we're talking about MOF.
Yeah.
It's the magical of MOF, and as we've been told, it's going to be in the hyphenation. It's going to be the main coin in the hyphenation. But if you watch that video there, it's all geared up again, saying what they're saying in the hyphenation, the census part and different part, and you know what I mean. So it's low as anything at the moment. It's dropped again today to 0.0022, the lowest it's been for a long time. But that's good on buying because you're getting more for the every time you convert them. Like they say, you can stake them. I did some the other day where you stake them for, I think it was a week, just to sit, to get a little bit more. But all you have to do is when you withdraw it, of course, is what if you, like we said the other day, is convert it in your back office, because at the moment, unless you haven't done any withdrawals, you're not going to get it out until it's all sorted. But if you convert your rewards ready to get for a withdrawal into MOF at 0.22, whatever it is, 0.0022. If that goes to 0.0044 or 66, like we said, it's, on the 11th of April, it was 11. So it has dropped since April, and we know it's why it's crashed. But no. Anybody who's got any old pending withdrawals, like we said before, you can cancel them and get the new price of MOF, so you can get more coins because it's a lower rate. Because even if that withdrawal goes ahead, you're going to get the rate of what it is today anyway, so you wouldn't lose out.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited about that because I've got about 2.5 million pending MOF, so very nice. That'll do me.
Right.
It depends when you did them, because I did mine on the 18th of April, cancelled them, and the rate had dropped down even less than half again. So it's doubled me MOF, just by the, and they still haven't come out, still sit in the back office. So it's it's powerful. MOF's going to be. The thing is, though, they can't release them too fast now because it's so far down. They need them holding a bit.
Yeah.
HVT, as we said, is going to be in Hyperverse. Not in hyphenation, is it? That's what they keep saying.
Yeah, not in hyphenation, but in Hyperverse. So that tells me that Hyperverse is around. It's not going anywhere either. It'll be different than it has been for the last 2.5 years. That's all.
Yeah, I think what we've got to remember in relation to HVT, you know, for anybody that has got contracts and has, you know, done rebuys, those rebuys will be honoured. So it's going to take 1,333 days to get them out. So if you did a 4X today on a package, you've got 1,333 days to go. Will you get a 4X in a month? Possibly not, but we'll have to wait. We won't speculate. We'll just wait and see what happens. But, you know, as Jamie and Kirsten's alluded to, now's the perfect time. If you get nothing from this call tonight, guys, get this. The rule of thumb for cryptocurrency is you buy it when it's low and you sell it when it's high. If anybody tells you different to that, they're lying to you. That is the golden rule. You buy low, you sell high. Anything else is a complete and utter lie. So, yeah, just be very much aware of that. And right now, you know, if any of you like a sale of the century, I mean, that was a program we used to have in the UK many moons ago, you know, where you'd get a yacht. Not that anybody ever wanted a yacht, but for some strange reason, yachts were always on sale. But right now, you can probably pick up the flipping Titanic for about $100 now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because that's kind of where we're at. So for those of you who aren't in the fear game and really do want to get educated and really do want to understand where we're going with all this, then just buy. And when you're sick of buying, you know what? Buy some more. Yeah. So I'll open up to the floor.
At the moment, though, it's like the yellow label and the co-op. It's end of night. It's the best time to buy it now. It's on the lowest it'll be. You can't go any lower because they'll be giving it away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can unmute, guys. So if anyone's got any thoughts, anything you'd like to share, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Oh, Yvonne. Come in.
Go on, Yvonne.
Good morning. How is everyone? Well, good evening, Paul. How are your feet?
They're good. They're good. Getting used to it. Getting used to this dancing bit again now. It's been a while, but yeah.
But what my little point that I would like to bring up is that within Hyperverse, we tend to forget that what we've got in there, they've already 4x'd it anyway.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Now, and therefore, even if we have to sit and wait for 1,333 days for the 4x to come out, it's still a good deal.
Still 4x.
Still 4x. So if you've put in $100 and you're going to get $400, I know 3.5 years is a long time to wait for a small amount. That's why I've gone large. So and I'm still a little bit confused about the DeFis and the but I'm trying to do what my leaders are doing right in front of me here now. But I just wanted to bring that point, even if we can't do any more rebuys now, if Jamie said in the call before this one, yesterday's one, remember Kirsten, you sent it to me.
Yeah, just the chit chat one. Yeah. I'll put that
chat one. Yeah. Said even if they stop the rebuys, if they stop it now, and we just have to wait our time to get out that the point to let it do its course, just take its course. It's still worth doing.
Absolutely.
And sticking into it, you know, and
and the other thing is from the call from Keith the other day with Dan, you know, it was made quite clear that the rebuys are still there. So until the company announces anything different, it's still there. I actually went in yesterday and I did some staking for the first time. Because I thought, you know, when I actually looked at the price of HVT to pull it out, I almost felt like I was stealing money off myself. So I thought, no, not even going there. Just leave it. Might as well just leave it and let's see what happens in 6 months. Because 6 months from now, as Jamie alluded to, if HVT was even to go up to 50 cents again, you're almost getting, you're getting a 4x on that. So right now, why would you sell it at 90% discount when you could get a 4x, a 10x, a 50x, a 1000x? And if you remember back in the early days when Calpesh used to compare some of the, in the original slides, I mean, going back to when it was hyper fun now, some of them returns they were getting off the coins were like 1,500% and 2,000% and 700%. I mean, if we start talking those numbers 6 months from now, boy, oh boy, guys, you're going to be on some money. And I know Tina's got a load of its stock, so I'll be going down to Tina and asking her for a loan as well. With the cream cake, by the way, that won't be forgotten. Go on, Jamie.
HVT, if it goes back to January prices, everybody will be laughing because it was $10 to each one.
Yep.
Remember, when you signed up for your smart contract in January, it cost $300.
300 US.
It was 10. It was 10. It was 9, 10 to each one, and then he suddenly just, because there's no, there's no use at the moment for HVT and stuff. The market's not helping, but yeah, it was costing $300 US, and in January I was like, "There's no way I'm paying $300 for it." So when I did it, it was about $24 to set up the smart contract, and I think it's even less than that now.
Mm.
So if it goes back to anywhere near the price in January, even half of that 5 HVT, my God, it's going massive.
I've got a question with that, Jamie. You know how when you, because I pulled out some HVT in the beginning because that's what I was told to do. So I set up my contract, pulled it out from Hyperverse, like converted it, pulled it out from Hyperverse into the smart contract page. And then,
ask,
yeah, is it better to leave it in there or pull it across to the actual MetaMask wallet, or does it not matter?
I don't think it'll make a difference. What I do is I bring it from MetaMask and swap it to BNB at the moment because it's just keeps dropping and dropping. I can't see it dropping anymore, but when I get so much, I just convert it to BNB because that's on a little bit of a climb. But it will just filter through. So if you got 50 of them and it goes up to $10 a time, then you can get 5 million.
Yeah, so it's all right just leaving it as HVT.
Just leave it. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference because your coins are there. They're not going to take the coins from you. They're your coins. And then when you sell them, it's the value what you're selling for. So remember the rule is make sure that you're selling for more than you bought them out for. And 9 out of 10 times you will be at the moment anyway.
Yeah, just on that, Jamie helped me with one of my withdrawals yesterday. And we converted it into HVT, and then we took the HVT out, and then we put it straight. I think I got $194, I think it was. And then Jamie just said, just put it in BNB and see what happens overnight. And when I came into it this morning, it had gone from 198 to actually 204. So I actually got a slight increase just by having it in BNB. And BNB is like USDT. It's the stable elements of a transfer. So once you take HVT and put it in BNB, you actually stabilize the price. If you leave it in HVT and it drops, then you're going to lose value. Literally, you can literally lose value within the space of an hour. And sometimes it literally does go up and down by the hour. So yeah, that's good advice, darling. If you're looking at withdrawing over the space of a couple of hours or even 24 hours, put it into BNB. Don't leave it in HVT on your platform. Get it off. And if you have to withdraw it, then withdraw it from BNB, not from HVT. But again, remember when you're pulling it out of Hyperverse, is it charges 20 quid either on the Moth withdrawal or HVT. It's about 20 quid. £20. Just build it up a bit. I had somebody in the group earlier said that they're doing a withdrawal of HVT of 50 quid. He's going to set up his smart contract.
charging $24. He's going to get charged 20 quid fee for get it out. So he'll get about $8. You're best off holding it off and building it up a bit. So because that fee's it's the same price if you bring 100 out, 300 out, $1,000, even up to $1 million. It's the same fee, isn't it? So hold it in the back office.
Is it the same, very much like Hyperpay, Jamie? You're familiar with this. I have got total assets of sitting there. It was about 2,900. Now I look at it today and I've been following, it's been dropping regularly. It's down to 1.6. What should I do with that?
And what coin is it?
It's sitting in, where do I find out what coin it is?
If it's moth, then I'd keep it where it is.
No, it's not. I don't think it's moth. I think it's hang on, I'll need to find it. What's happening?
Salisa.
Hey, who's this?
No, somebody's screen.
Not me.
Hey.
Well, maybe I can talk to you later, Jamie.
Yeah, anything technical and that kind of guys, go one-to-one. We won't have time to discuss that.
But,
yeah.
Remember on any coins though, if you got a coin what's dropped, even Bitcoin, I've been in the barbershop today and he's, my barber's got a Bitcoin and he's like, oh my God, what shall I do? Sell it? I said, no, you're not selling it. Keep it there, hold it and just wait and just ride it out because the only time you're going to lose out is if you got a stop loss on it or you sell it. If you just keep it, you're not going to lose anything at all. It'll just build up and then it'll change around again. And once it starts going green, your quid's in. Just remember the rule though, whatever you bought it out in, whatever rate, always aim for higher than the rate what you bring it out of Hyperverse and you're winning.
Brilliant. Okay, guys. All right, well, what I'm going to do is I got access to this book about 4 months ago called Crypto Revolution. And believe it or not, I actually started reading it this week because I've been so busy, I haven't even had a chance to read it. Not that I'm a good reader anyway, but what I thought I'd do, I just started reading it yesterday and managed to get to chapter 2, which happens to just really bring us to where we are now. So what I thought I'd do is, unless anyone's got any thoughts or any other comments, but what I want to do, I just want to kind of take you through what's really gone on in the last 40 years, because what I shared with Kirsten just prior to the call is that everything moves in cycles. And if you think of the moon will, the moon from a full moon to the next full moon is 30 days. The earth or the sun rotates around the earth, or whichever way you look at that, over the 365 cycle. The Mayan calendar is based on a 25,000 year cycle. Now, for those of you who are biblically minded, we only really follow the last 6 years cycle, 6,000 year cycle, which is supposed to be the Adam and Eve creation story. I have a different view on that as a Christian, but the issue is these cycles exist. Not only cycles of planetary cycles and calendar cycles and all those cycles, but there are also cycles of behavior, human behavior. And what I want to address with you through this particular book is that over the last 40 years, we've been following a 40-year cycle. And that 40-year cycle has a lot to do with where we are today. You can now unmute again, so if anybody's got anything to share. Yeah, so I was talking about cycles, and one of the, or two of the cycles that I'm very much aware of is we have what we call the financial cycle, and I'm pretty certain Anthony may have some comments on this because I know this is some of the stuff that comes from their talks of a morning, that traditionally every 30 to 40 years we have a complete new currency. And I can literally take you right back the last 400 to 600 years and actually show that and demonstrate that. Now, the last currency change that we had was was actually 1971, when President Nixon took America off the gold standard so that he could have the ability to print as much fiat currency as he wanted to. And also, he also by default actually took the world off the gold standard, and therefore every government had the ability then to print as much money as they want. But what was interesting, since then, we've gone into what I would call a 10-year cycle, because for those of you who have had any influence or follow any of the sort of political side of things, governments and the banking industry, every kind of 10-year cycle, we've had what we call a boom, an economy boom, and then we've had an economy collapse. And it is literally almost to the day a 10-year cycle. And I'll just throw some of those numbers at you. You know, we had, 1971 was when we went from the gold standard. And then sort of 1982, we had the crash. 1999, we had the crash. 2008, we had the crash. 2012, we had the crash. And you can kind of see there's a pattern. And guess where we are now? We're 2021, 22, and we're in a crash. Now, if that's not a pattern of behavior, I don't know what a pattern of behavior is. So if that's what's going to happen, and going back to what we were saying before about MOF being the coin that was going to take us through into the metaverse, if we are now at kind of the end of that 10-year cycle and it's crashed, then what's the next 10 years going to look like? The next 10 years is going to be the boom.
Yeah.
And then we'll have another crash. So for us right now, we couldn't be any better placed, despite the headaches. I mean, go back to the 1929 crash, people were jumping off flipping buildings because their world had just crumbled. You know, they were committing suicide. Big companies were going down. Massive wealth was being lost. And that's happened every 10 years for the last 40 years. And we've seen, the dot-com era go in the late 90s. We've seen the internet businesses collapsing in the 2000s. We've seen big companies that have rolled that 10-year. Look at some of the banks that have collapsed, literally in 2012, 2013. Banks that said, a little bit like the Titanic, we're that big and powerful, we couldn't possibly go under. Well, guess what? They bloody went under because they got too proud and they got too greedy. And it is about greed, by the way. And there comes a point where the markets just go as far as they can go. And then there's only one option and it crashes. So right now, we are all experiencing that, perhaps for the first time. Because if I'd have said to you 2012, 2008, 1999, 1982, 1971, you'd probably be thinking, what are you talking about, Paul? Because those things happen and you probably knew nothing about them because your mind wasn't on finance. Your mind was probably on you raising your kids, raising your grandkids, getting married, getting your first house, getting your new job. Because all of those things were designed to keep you focused on what you were doing, and the best analogy I can give for this is the Wizard of Oz. While Dorothy, the lion, the Tin Man, and the Straw Man are watching the all-powerful Oz, woo, what was actually going on behind the curtain was this little old man pulling levers and do. Well, that's what's going on in the world, guys. While we're all focused on the all-powerful Oz and look, all this fear and doom and gloom, the bankers are going, that's another 2 billion next week because these mugs are all going to start selling everything off and we'll just buy. Because when you're in a toxic market, and I'm particularly thinking now of 2017, when the American bubble burst in relation to the property development, all of a sudden, the prices of houses started plummeting. People couldn't afford the increase in interest, so they lost their houses. Well, guess what the banks were doing?
Buying them.
Happy day.
Yeah.
Because we've had all the interest.
I was just going to say, there's actually, like, I don't remember those things. I was so focused, you know, watch over here while we're doing service here. But I do remember watching the news when I used to watch the news. You'd see in America, and there was just streets and streets of houses where people had literally just walked out. All their furniture, everything was still there. They had just left. It was heartbreaking.
It was literally, and I remember it well because I was very much into all of that. And literally within a question of 2 to 3 days, people's lives were just shattered.
Yeah.
Literally, they lost a job on the Monday, they couldn't afford the rent on the Tuesday, and they were homeless on Wednesday. And what I always said about Jefferson and the Declaration of Independence, if ever this great nation allows its currency to be first issued by inflation and then by deflation, your kids will end up on the streets. That's where we are right now. So while we're perhaps not jumping out of buildings and we're not, you know, our whole life probably isn't devastated, we might be upset, we might be hurt, we might think, oh, God blimey, I wish the last month would have just disappeared. But trust me, guys, people lose their lives over this stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think there's anybody on this call that's anywhere near that place, although I am aware that it is impacting on people's mental health. And guess what? It's impacting on me because it's not just me I've got to worry about, it's my daughter and my grandson. Now, I know because of that pattern of behavior, I know we're at the bottom or very close. So there's only one way to go. Jamie mentioned and alluded to the fact that, you know, when the price of moth was $10, that was only 6 months ago. Now, if anyone follows, you know, graphs and charts, whenever we have a top of anything, or what we call a ceiling price of something, so if 10 was the ceiling price, and what was it, Jamie, 0.0022 is the floor, then where can it go? It can only start going back up. Sorry, HTV, Jamie, you're right. You know, if we're at the bottom of HVT price, then there's only one place that can now go, and that is to go up to where it was. And you only got to follow.
I have a question, and it might be a dumb question, but
no, nothing's dumb.
I'm just wondering, you know how they say, here's the ceiling and here's the bottom. So it comes down and they say the only place it can go is up. Does it never actually get to the bottom and disappear?
It can. Oh, it can do. And that's why the companies made the decision to do what they've done. Had everybody, if they just said, let's put this into real life. If they now said, okay, we screwed up, we made the biggest mistake of all time. Yeah, Luna was a coin that was going to be the answer to all the problems. Will it come back? Probably, absolutely. You know, would you take a chance on Luna right now? Probably not. But I'll tell you now, there will be some people who will take a chance on it. And if you can afford to lose $100 without thinking about it, go and buy yourself a shed load of Luna. Because if that price starts...
How do you buy it if it's disappeared though? Like when it goes down to the bottom, does it not disappear? When it gets to 0, 0?
It only disappears in relation to the fact that it zeroes out. So whether the projects, I mean, Jamie might be able to give more information on this. I haven't really followed that story. But if it's still on the platform and it's still tradable, then yeah, Jamie, any insights? Hold on, let me just unmute you.
There we go, you got it.
Yeah, with Luna, what happened is he was hitting a high of $186. Then suddenly, per coin, $186. So when then it started going around Facebook a lot, and people were saying, Twitter was saying, "Hey, up, it's something's happening." It dropped. So I was looking at the charts. I was like, right, it's nearly hitting 0. So I went in, and I had some moth in Hyperpay at the time. And it was $20 to $30 worth of moth. So I switched it straight away to Luna because you could see it was going to very close to 0. So what happened is I got in straight away and I got 50,000 Luna. I'm sitting in my mother-in-law's and father-in-law's looking at my back office and Hyperpay, and that coins went back up again, and it was working out at $6,000. But at this time, they stopped all withdrawals. So I couldn't switch it, I couldn't swap it, I couldn't do anything. Then the coin just died a death. And because I bought it before a certain time, what they've done is they reinstated it as Luna 2 now. So they devalued it, put so many more notes on it, and it's now Luna 2. But and then what they did is just revalued it, and it's that. And now them 50,000 Luna 2 is worth $4.85, and that's it. But at one stage I was like, try and switch it, swap it, whatever. Back to MOF, whatever I wanted, but what they did is all the networks took out the withdrawal and trade button, and you couldn't do anything with it. It died.
So I actually heard that, you know, like we weren't able to withdraw MOF from Hyperverse, but other people were saying it's not just Hyperverse. Exchanges are actually freezing coin as well. And I thought, hey, can they do that? But they did. They did to you. They froze it. You couldn't do anything with it.
But Binance for the last 24 hours stopped all Bitcoin withdrawals as well, and they're back on now.
There you go. See,
Bitcoin's at the one of the me and Paul looked at it the other day. The lowest it's been for a while, and it's a floor. It's 22,400, and it's just at that, and it's gone back up a bit now. So yeah,
and just before we bring Ruthie on, that floor thing. That's kind of where it hovers, and it's called the resistance line. So what happens when it starts to get to the resistance line, people are looking at it and they're thinking, oh, should I buy now? Should I buy now? Will it go a little bit lower? Might it go a little bit? I'll wait for it to go a little bit lower. And it kind of doesn't, and it hovers, and it kind of sits there. And then what happens then is a couple of people will say, right, okay, I'm in. And what they do then is they start putting the money in, the big investment. I'm not talking about $50, guys. I'm talking, 50 million, 100 million, 2 billion, that type of number. And what happens then is the market starts to move. And as soon as that market starts to move, you get a lot of investors coming in, and that's where you'll start to see the price come up. So right now, we're kind of at that, the hovering bit, is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? But as soon as, a couple of big investors make that decision and say, right, that's it for me, I'm in, then you'll start to see, that change. So that's really how that game's played, guys. So right now we are at the best possible position to really seriously start looking now at holding and hodling as many coins. So with that, I'm going to ask Ruthie if she'd like to unmute.
Ray said Celsius. Ray and Dee said Celsius has stopped withdrawals, and Dee said Celsius emailed my friend to say it's to protect customers from volatility. So it's for the protection of their customers.
Absolutely.
Which is what I said about Hyperverse. Yeah, they're protecting.
Yeah,
and a lot of governments are trying to get rid of stable coins as well. That's a big thing now. They try and get rid of stable coins because stable coins is the danger one. With the central bank digital coin, the stable coins is going to be the ones what's going to be affected, and that's why they try and get rid of them. They try and get rid of stable coins.
Wow.
Okay, if you'd like to come in, Ruthie, I'll just you should be able to just unmute yourself. Yep. Yeah, there you go.
Oh no, it's muted. We can't hear you, love.
Can't hear you, Ruthie.
It says you're unmuted, but we can't hear you.
No, you're muted now.
No, there's no sound.
Just check your mic. Just take your mic out and put it back in. We're not hearing anything. I'll come back to you in a minute. Anybody else got any thoughts?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, now we can.
Oh, that's better.
Can you hear me now? Yeah?
Yes.
Hi, Ruth.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thanks for, I just sitting here listening to you and talking about the cyclic movement of, it's not only in crypto, in the stock market and everything. And I can't relate very much. I'm probably the same age as yourself. I think we are, because you mentioned your age the other day.
Are you only 20? Are you only 22 as well?
I wish, yes, I wish I was. So we probably have seen this. And I was a victim on the .com company collapse as well in the late 90s, early 200s. And it was very, very painful. But I'm a very high risk person. So I'm just saying here that we will surely, this will also pass. I am confident it's going to pass, because I have seen, those cycles in, out a couple of times, even the 2008 as well. Yes, it's very painful as it is, but when it does come back, we will all be smiling. Now, talking about the bottoming of all these coins and tokens and all whatnot, my fear is the way HVT and MOF are really going down. Are we going to end the lunar way or the Celsius way? Or does the company have enough to sort of buttress and to hold it up? Is a question that at the moment I have a few thousands and I have 2 accounts because I'm one of the old registrants from last year. So, and on each one, I must have at least 5,000, and I haven't been rebuying. I have never withdrawn anything since September when I joined. So I've just been rebuying and rebuying, but for the last 3 weeks or even a month, I have not rebought anything since all these problems started. So, and yes, I tried to withdraw into HVT, but how much was it at the time? 700 into HVT. I've only got like 50 something.
Yeah.
And this was 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, and it's only come down to about 50, 60, HVT. And I'm thinking, how long am I? So I have stopped doing anything with my HUs, and they're just staying in my account at the moment. And I'm thinking, but I mean, listening to you guys and talking about putting it in DeFi, which I have no clue what that is about. I'm going to have to learn how to do all those details so that I'm not just leaving, money on the table, as so to speak. So yeah.
I did a little video for one of our ladies just in our team yesterday, just sent it across to her. So what I'll do, are you in our Facebook group? Are you in our?
Yes, I am.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll just put the link to that little video there, and I'll just say it's how to stake in DeFi. I'll put that in after the call. It's easy.
I think in answer to your question, Ruthie, I think there's a number of strategies. Some people will say just hold your HU because your HU is still priced out at $1. That's a strategy. The other strategy is convert it into MOF and hold MOF, convert it into HVT and hold out HVT, and then equally you can stake it. So they're all strategies you can use, and to be fair, I'd probably use a combination of each.
Yeah, because I'm thinking
that way,
leave it in HU. So if I'm able to at least take out my initial deposits, and that's quite a large deposit I had, when I put it in both accounts, I mean, to the tune of $25,000 in both accounts, and I haven't taken anything out. So I'm thinking, leave it there. Maybe if I'm able to get up to 10,000, I can take that out. And because of the charges as well that we are talking about. So I don't know if it's a good strategy, but I'm beginning to think maybe I should be sort of utilizing the DeFi as everybody is talking about now. And maybe what I
would suggest to you, Ruthie, if you want to get on a call with me and Jamie, and what we'll do, and Kirsten, and what we'll do, we'll just talk you through that, because you've got quite a few options there, and I think there's a number of ways you could go with that, all which would be equally valuable. It's just a question of what you feel comfortable with. We're not here to offer financial advice, but what we can do is show you the benefits of what we have got access to. Okay, so thanks for that. Very valid point. Just reach out to us and we'll do that. Anybody else got any thoughts? I'll tell you what, this time does not fly when you're having fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, great. I don't have anything.
Anyone? I mean, I've got a few more things, but I'd sooner listen to what you guys have got to say than hear myself talking. Anybody else got anything? Anthony, anything to add? Yes, Anthony. I thought Anthony had come in. Go on, Anthony, unmute yourself. You should be able to, still can't hear you. You should be able to unmute, my friend. Oh, hold on, security.
Yeah,
security officer was present.
Yeah, well, I was just listening to you guys and taking everything in. You know, just the thoughts. For me, there's nothing about withdrawing. You know, I'm not here to withdraw. So everything that we train currently, it's to keep buying and keep rebuying. You know, so on my team, we've got people who've done a lot of HVT, and the rest of us are just rebuying. For me, I'm just keeping that you know, the pending rewards going, knowing that it will be good when everything turns around. So we you know, we're listening to what Boris is saying and just going with it, you know. So yeah, I'm just here to listen and experience, see what everyone else is doing and just take that on board really. But I'm not worried, you know. At this time,
No,
it's all about yeah, we understand what's going on now. We understand more than we knew before. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's like it is a risk, but it's a very good calculated risk, I think, and we will come good. All we got to do is learn how to be patient and yeah, and go with it. So, yeah, I'm here to just see how we go on the you know, on the upline. We are right at the bottom at the moment, so you can't go any further. If it does go further, it's okay. Still, don't panic because it will go up.
The funny
There's
thing,
good things coming.
the funny thing is too, is when we first came into the platform, you know, we always heard plug in, plug in, plug in. Nothing's changed, because if we're not plugging in to these kind of calls, Pekingese calls, the ones that you do every day, that's still plugging in. And it's because it's like,
Absolutely.
I'll see in the chats, people will say, oh, I've just tried to do a withdrawal and it didn't work. What's happening? See, if you don't know,
If you don't know,
if you don't plug in, you're not going to know. If you
Yeah.
plug into these things, it takes away the fear, because you understand what's actually going on in a much bigger picture than Hyperverse.
Yeah, and
It's
we're also
not
quite
fair
loyal
enough
to
plug
what
in.
we're doing. Like, you know, we
Yeah.
are with Hyperverse, and I think you got to just stick with one company. If you're trying to juggle two things, it's like, you know, riding two bikes. You know, you're going to lose your balance and fall off. So, you know, Boris always says the same thing. It's don't go with two different opportunities. You know, because you're just going to fail. You know, there's only, you know, he actually he understands how this platform works inside out, and he's very switched on numbers guy, very smart, and his faith and his everything is riding on this or, you know, on this platform. And if anyone comes in with a different opportunity, he doesn't even look at it, you know, and he encourages us as well. Don't get confused, because once you start getting confused, you lose your focus, you know.
I
So-
totally understand that, just because some of the platforms out there are real hard to get your head around. And if it's going to take my focus off what I'm doing here, I'm not having a look. But I had seen a couple where they're not hard. You can just go and do a certain thing and leave it. And like, so, you know, that diversification, I understand now the importance of that, not putting all your eggs in one basket. I get that, but I also get what Boris is saying about, because it's taken me
what
a
he
year
has to
for
say
this
is,
knowledge.
the important thing is, if you're doing it and it's working for you, then carry on. But don't try and push it onto somebody else, because there are some people who are not as strong as perhaps you are, you know.
Totally get
and
it.
if they don't know how to manage these things, they lose their way.
No.
So you got to be careful with so it's okay if
Yeah,
you're not doing it.
No, I am actually going to challenge it on that, Anthony, and I'll tell you for why. There are people right now who are hating, and I'm one of them. One of the things that we have promised our community is we will best serve our community. So right now, Kirsten and I, as Forging Links, we are looking at, is there something out there that for those who are hating, those who do need that little extra bit of income just to keep going while we ride this crest of a wave, whatever we want to call it, there are
Yeah.
people that are financially hurting. So diversification is not a problem. Trying to build 2 or 3 different things, I totally get that. But right now, we need to protect our community. And what we're saying,
Absolutely.
if we see something that can just tide you over the next month, 2 months, 3 months, while all of this comes out the wash, because I do believe it will all come out nice and clean, and we'll be able to ride that next crest up to what I would see as massive wealth, then, you know, we could only be talking 2 or 3 weeks away from that. You know, there's supposed to be, is the corporate call still on tomorrow, the 15th? You know, there's supposed to be some sort of news tomorrow. You know, we don't know. So with that, thanks for that, Anthony. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Ruthie,
Can I
it looks like you
more?
still...
Very quickly, it's for guys like you who understand this a little bit better. It's good for you to try different things, but once you know it's working, then you can share it. But we have people who are just sharing things that they don't even understand. They're just dropping in things which they hear, and that is the noise that we don't want.
And that's where the confusion. That's where the confusion will come in and create more hurt.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's only the leaders we listen to, because they know a little bit better than what we do. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks. Just a quick one. I did ask a question at the beginning of my previous comment. The HVT and MOF, are we assured or reassured that there's enough buffer to keep them afloat within the system? This is a big question for me. And this is one of the reasons I haven't even changed my HU to anything, because I'm thinking they're going down and we don't even know where the bottom is. And nobody can predict where the bottom is, just like Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything. I was chatting to somebody today, and it was also bringing up charts from the years before, and I was saying we haven't even seen the bottom of Bitcoin yet. And today it was 22 at the time, 22,000, because this time 2020 it was something like $10,000, you know, at the time. And if it's going to go in that kind of cycle, we are not likely to have seen the bottom of Bitcoin, which is the you know, the prime coin in the market. So I just need, you know, that kind of reassurance that with HVT and MOF and how they're just dropping in values, are we assured that there is enough to keep them afloat so that we don't end up like Luna?
The short answer is no. There are no guarantees. What I will say, and I think we tried to cover this about a week ago when we said we looked at the charts. So what we might do for our next call, and we'll notify you as to when that's going to be, what we might do is show you a live Bitcoin chart. And what I'll do is I'll actually walk you through that, because going back to that cyclical behavior, you'll actually see what happens when a coin goes up and then it comes down and it holds and then it hits the ceiling and it comes down, hits the floor. Again, you can, I wouldn't say predict, is not the right word, but you can kind of anticipate, one, when it's hitting the ceiling, and then is it going to break through the ceiling, or if it hits the floor, and is it going to break through the floor? And I'll be honest with you, I've spoken to people who are certainly far more knowledgeable than me in that industry, and they will say to me, I think Bitcoin can still go down. So, you know, would I say it's hit the floor right now? Not necessarily. But if I were looking to buy in, certainly our coins, certainly MOF and HVT, now would be the time to buy them. Bitcoin can still go down, and whatever happens to Bitcoin largely influences the rest of the coins. So is there still room for it to go down? Absolutely, yes. Is there room for it to go?
I think the wisest thing to do now, I mean, from personal experience, is to buy them in layers, buy a bit at a time, so that you are not putting all your eggs in one basket. And if it goes down further, maybe buy a bit more rather than just join in at an uncertain level. So anyway, that's my
brilliant. No, that's right. And as I say, there's no right or wrong to this, guys. It's, you know, at the end of the day, we're not financial advisors, and what strategy I might use, you might not agree with. So that's why we don't give financial advice, because the last thing I would want to do is to say, do what I'm doing, and then all of a sudden that doesn't work. You have to do what you know with what knowledge you know. Yes, listen to other people, listen to as many people as you feel would give you that kind of balanced approach. And yeah, no strategy is wrong. It's just a question of what you do. But yeah, all good questions, guys. We have just gone over the hour again. Wow, that went fast. Can't believe how fast that went. So unless anyone's got any final remarks, I did ask.
Can I add something very
Kirsten,
quickly? Yeah.
Yes, go on, Anthony, while I try and find this.
Yeah, what I was going to say is, if you do have something that actually you think is working for you and it's really good, what we always do is we run it past by our leaders, just to oversee it before we chuck it into the platform, because that's where we noticed where problems happen. So once they have looked at it and said, yeah, I think this is good, then we share it with others. So we always run it past.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. Thanks for that, Anthony. That's really good advice. So unless anybody else has got anything to say, I'd like to just close with this. Again, the fact that I was able to have a quiet day today, it gave me a little bit of reflective time. And I like to read poetry. And I came across a poem today by James T. Moore. And it's called You Were Born Rich. So what I'm going to do, just on close now, I'm going to narrate that for you. Every single blade of grass and every flake of snow, it's just a wee bit different. There's no two alike, From something small, like grains of sand, to each giant star, all were made with this in mind, to be just what they are. Oh, we are. I'm struggling to read it, and now she puts it up. How foolish then to imitate, how useless to pretend, since each of us comes from a mind where ideas never end. There'll only be just one of me to show what I can do. And you should likewise feel very proud. There's only one of you. That is where all this starts, with you, a wonderful, unlimited human being. Guys, we love you. We're grateful that you come to be part of our community. May your God, I don't know whether anybody know who, there's Dave Allen, an Irish comedian. He always used to end his show with, may your God go with you. And whatever or wherever you are in the world, we love you, we care about you, and we only want the best for you. Let's keep going. Let's keep faithful. Let's be positive. Let's be the people we were designed to be, created in the image of our God. And some of you need looking into. But we are wonderful, wonderful human beings. We can all contribute to each other's growth and development. And stay tuned. Kirsten and I have had some discussion, just so that you know. We're very much aware that I think people are very wary and just masses and masses of information. So we're gonna look at what we're doing and see if we can just make it a little bit easier and not be as loud and not be as noisy, and just give information out as we think it needed. Get the education is crucial. And I want to bring some stuff in that will make it a little bit more lighthearted, a bit more around the history, a little bit more around the political situation, so that we kind of get an all-round picture rather than just boom, 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 boom. Because I don't know about you, but I've kind of had enough of it. So we just want to flavour it up a little bit, add a bit of spice, have a bit of fun. We're looking at a few little different ideas. We probably won't have as many shows throughout the week, because if I'm honest with you, I'm absolutely shattered, and I certainly know Kirsten is too. And there's just so many things going on. So with that said, I'm going to hand over to my incredible partner, Kirsten, just for closing remarks, and then let's call this a wrap.
I just was looking at the comment. I'm not a very good multitasker. I can't type and listen and talk at the same time. I just was looking at some of the comments, and that, yeah, everyone's saying that they love the way that we do these chats. I tell you, I was feeling a little bit flat this morning, and I said to Paul, oh man, I'm tired. I can't do this. This is 6 days a week, every day, you know, and I just reading things like that, like people find value in it. Sometimes you feel like you don't know if it's being received as you think it's being received, if that makes sense. But if there's value in it, and if even if just one person finds value in it, like that's enough for me. I just, yeah, we shall press on. If that makes sense.
Well, yeah, I think what we're going to do, because both Kirsten and I are morning people. I mean, I'm at the end of my day now. It's 11 o'clock and I'm ready for bed, you know. So what I said to Kirsten, we may look at doing is make it my AM, which was more your PM for those in New Zealand and Australia. That might be a better time for a lot of you, because what we're noticing now, we've got the same people on the same calls, and people who I think should be on these calls aren't. So it's either this doesn't match their timeline. So what we might do is you know, just spread the times around the clock, if that makes any sense, so that it gives people a chance. If you're a morning person, you might jump on more than if you're a night person, and vice versa. So it's not that we're going away. We're just looking at how can we change it so it's not such a big struggle for Kirsten and to be fair for me, because right now I am shattered. And Anthony's call starts at 5 a.m. I kind of felt I'd got past that stupid o'clock stuff, but we're right back into it because it gives such value.
Yeah, you
know, they have a different format, a different style, and it's absolutely incredible. So if you're an afternoon person in Australia, then you know you might want to jump into Anthony's group call, because they are very much about mindset and helping people to become better at doing what we're doing, which is multi-level marketing, you know, how to approach and how to sell. And, you know, so if anyone's struggling with that, really, I had to call off 2 of their team today, Iona and Iona, and they're not twins, but was able to support their group in some of the mindset stuff that I do.
Yeah.
So we all contribute to each other's community, guys. And, you know, Anthony's been on our call now for the best part of 2 weeks, and he brings some cracking nuggets to us, as do all of you. I wish we could get a lot more of your comments in, because I know
there was more cameras on today. I love that. I was like, oh,
yes, yeah.
I love it. But yeah,
because
it all starts with asking questions. You know, even if you feel that you know it may be wrong, because sometimes we may say something which is not, and we it helps ourselves as well. We learn from there. So we learn how to ask better questions by asking questions that may not be right, and we get help. So no one's going to criticize you here. Just come and be free.
No.
You know?
That's it.
And
feeling comfortable in a group to be able to ask the questions that you maybe would be uncomfortable asking in a bigger group or with a bunch of strangers. Like we come on every day and we see each other and we're not strangers anymore.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then you go in the bigger groups, you can ask better questions.
Yeah.
You learn.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So with that, guys, I think we're done. So Kirsten, great job again. I think we're getting good at this now.
Yeah, well, look at that.
So
everyone's saying, every other day or just 3 times a week. Yeah, we need a rest too. Excellent. I've got a blooming farm to run here. So I think maybe Paul goes out dancing on a Sunday night. So that's my Monday morning. So we won't do the Monday and we won't do the Friday. Maybe we'll do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I'll carry on with my team huddle, which I have on a Saturday morning. And that's just everyone jump on, have a chit chat, share something funny, whatever.
And what I am open to, guys, again, I mentioned that I'm happy to do an AM one because I am an AM person, but that better suits the evening time over in Australia and New Zealand. So, like, there's a couple of I'm looking at Charlene in particular. She works most days, so the evening time, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, might be a better time that you could catch this. Whereas now I think she's probably traveling to work or something, so it's not as easy a meeting to get to, but it suits Kirsten because,
Purely
as you say,
selfish on my part. The reason it's on at this time exactly is purely for selfish reasons. I'm cactus after lunchtime. My brain doesn't function because I get up at like 4 a.m. So yeah, it's purely selfish. So Paul said, yeah, we need to cater to other people, but that will be on him. I'm afraid I can't do it.
So yeah, but again, it's all forging links, and we will save our community, and as I say, some of them may be better saved of a night time as well. But you're all beautiful people. We love you here, and yeah, we hope you can continue to get value here. And yeah, we'd love to hear more from you. And if you've got anything that you want to share, then we'd love to hear it. So with that, I'm going to bed, guys. Thanks very much.
Just one little note to self: we will turn off the option for the whiteboard now that we know that it exists. All right, guys. Catch you later.
Take care. Love you lots, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Good night.
Forging links.
Forging links, one person at a time.